All right, so get this. Imagine, right? You're Dante.
Right.
It's the 14th century, and you've just finished writing this epic poem. But here's the thing.
Okay.
It's not just any poem. It's like this really intense, insightful, even funny at times journey through hell. Your version of it, at least.
Right.
Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
And trust me, it is a wild ride.
Oh, absolutely. And I think what's so fascinating about it is it's not just like a physical journey through hell, right? He's taking us through the human psyche.
Oh, totally.
Like the nature of sin and choice and consequence. All of that's coming into play here.
Yeah. And get this, your guide through this whole underworld thing is none other than Virgil.
Of course.
The Roman poet.
The OG.
It's like having, I don't know, like a literary rock star showing you the ropes of the afterlife.
Yeah.
But before we even get to the first circle, you encounter this super important character, Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Now she's not just some random angel, right?
No. She represents something much deeper. Like when you think about Dante's work, she's this embodiment of divine love, grace.
Right.
And she's the one who actually requests Virgil guide Dante through hell in the first place.
Oh, wow.
It's like she sees something in him. Like there's potential there.
Yeah.
Even though he's lost. Right.
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Right. Lost in the woods.
Exactly.
So even before the real punishments begin, Dante's already hinting at this idea of hope. This possibility of like redemption, even for someone who's about to witness, the worst of humanity.
Exactly.
So where do we find ourselves first on this journey?
Well, we find ourselves in limbo, the first circle of hell.
Okay.
And it's not the fiery kind of hellscape you might imagine.
Right.
It's actually pretty chill, relatively speaking.
Chill might be a stretch, but
okay, fair enough.
Definitely tamer than what's coming next.
Yeah.
So who are we hanging out with in this surprisingly pleasant part of hell?
So think about like all the great minds who came before Christianity.
Okay.
Right. So you've got Homer, Aristotle, philosophers, poets, all those big names. They lived virtuous lives, but they never had the chance to accept Christ.
Wait, so you're telling me Dante's got Homer hanging out in hell?
It's true.
That's kind of rough, isn't it?
Well, it really makes you think about Dante's worldview, right? I mean, he clearly respects these figures. He admires them. But in his view, their lack of faith, their lack of belief in the Christian God, it lands them here. It's like he's saying even the brightest minds need something more to truly find peace.
It makes you wonder who Dante would put in limbo today.
Oh, that's a great question.
Like, are we talking scientists, philosophers who are questioning things? It makes you think about what faith and virtue even mean today.
Absolutely. And that's just the first circle. We're just getting started.
Oh, no.
It's going to get a lot more intense.
Oh, boy. Okay, so we've dipped our toes into limbo, the kiddie pool of hell.
Right.
But now it's like we're really turning up the heat.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets more intense as we go down.
Oh, yeah.
The punishments get worse. The sins are greater.
And if those great minds are stuck in limbo, I can only imagine who we're going to meet even further down.
Well, let's see. So next up is Circle 2. This is where we encounter all those souls consumed by lust.
Ah, lust. Right. Classic. But Dante doesn't just throw everyone in a fire pit.
No.
He gets creative.
Oh, he does.
With these punishments.
He's like an artist.
Yeah.
A very dark artist.
Yeah.
But like an artist.
So how does he punish lust?
Okay, so picture this. You're caught in this whirlwind.
Okay.
Right? And these powerful winds are just constantly buffeting you around.
Oh, wow.
Just like those uncontrollable passions that you just couldn't resist in life.
Oof.
Right. You're yearning for connection, but you're always denied fulfillment. It's brutal, really.
And it's not just any souls.
Right.
Who are these people stuck in this never-ending whirlwind?
Well, I mean, think of some of history's most,
Oh, boy.
big names.
Hit me with it.
Cleopatra.
Okay.
Helen of Troy.
Oh, wow.
Kristen and Isolde.
Yeah.
Those lovers. Their stories, like the OG forbidden romance.
Right. And they're all here.
Oh, yeah.
Because of lust.
Driven by their desires.
So Dante's saying even the most famous, the most powerful people...
Doesn't matter who you are.
...can get totally tripped up by their desires.
It's a great equalizer, isn't it?
Right. I kind of want to go back and reread some of these myths and legends now.
Oh, for sure.
See them in a different light after this.
Oh, absolutely. Adds a whole new layer of, cautionary wisdom to them, But anyway, Dante's not just focused on the famous and powerful. He also turns his attention to everyday vices. The things that we can all maybe relate to a little too much.
Uh-oh.
And that's where we find ourselves in Circle 3. Gluttony.
Gluttony. So, like, overeating, having that extra slice of pizza.
Well, it's more than just that. Dante saw it as this symbol of excess.
Okay.
This lack of self-control that can just consume you.
Right.
It's that constant need for more, whether it's food, drink, stuff, you name it.
Yeah. Okay, maybe Dante was onto something here.
Right. A little too relatable, maybe.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, in this circle, you're not going to find those big heroes or mythical figures.
Right.
It's just ordinary people.
Wow.
And their punishment, well, they're lying in this disgusting swamp, bombarded by this icy rain and filth.
Ugh, that sounds awful.
It's basically Dante's way of saying that even our most ordinary vices can trap us in this cycle of misery.
Okay, so we've got lust, we've got gluttony. What's next?
Well, hold on to your hats, because we're descending into circle 4. Greed.
Greed. All right, lay it on me.
And this is where Dante does something really interesting.
What's that?
He doesn't actually write a single word about the punishment.
Wait, really?
Nope. Remember, he and Virgil, they're walking through hell this whole time. They're talking to people, hearing their stories.
Right.
But in circle 4, they don't stop. They don't engage at all. It's like Dante is saying, greed is so bad, so against everything I believe in, that I can't even look at these people.
It's like he's giving them the silent treatment.
Exactly. And, it makes you wonder about Dante himself,
What do you mean?
Like, what did he experience in his life that made him feel so strongly about this? Was it a betrayal? Was it something he saw happening in society?
Right. It really makes you think about the man behind the poem.
Right.
Okay, so we've had lust, gluttony, and now greed.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go from here?
Only deeper. And trust me, it gets more intense later.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for next time. So last time we were talking about how Dante, he really starts to see himself in these punishments, like with anger.
Right. It stopped being theoretical for him.
Exactly. And that, self-reflection, it only gets stronger as we go deeper.
Okay, well, if anger's got Dante sweating, what's next? Spill it.
Circle 6, heresy. And you gotta remember, it's 14th century Italy. Religion, politics, all one big messy thing.
Right. Can't separate them back then.
So Dante puts people here who challenge religious authority. Like there's this guy, Fernata, a political leader who basically went up against the Pope.
Oh, snap. So Dante's using hell to make a statement about real-world power. Pretty bold move for his time.
Totally. He's throwing some serious shade. And speaking of shade, circle 7, even juicier. It's violence, but Dante gets all nuanced, showing how not all violence is created equal.
Okay, yeah, like punching a wall versus, I don't know, starting a war. Totally different vibe.
Exactly. So the outer ring, that's for violence against others and their stuff. Murderers, tyrants, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Then there's violence against yourself. Suicide, which to Dante was an offense against God, like rejecting the gift of life.
Intense. So what about that inner ring of violence? That's got to be rough.
This is for blasphemy, violence against God, against nature itself. And this is where it gets really interesting. Dante puts those who committed sodomy here. And get this, he includes his old teacher, Brunetto Latini, a man he clearly loved, respected deeply, even though
Dante condemned sodomy as a sin. Man, the man's wrestling with some stuff, huh?
Right. It shows how complicated he was. A man of his time, bound by certain beliefs, but still capable of such deep compassion. Makes you think twice about judging historical figures,
Totally. We can't impose our values on the past. Okay, we're in the end game now. 2 circles left. What's the deal with circle 8? Fraud.
Buckle up, Buttercup, because Dante gets laser focused here. 10 subcircles, each for a different flavor of fraud. We're talking hypocrisy, flattery, abusing your power, even alchemy.
Alchemy. Wait, trying to turn lead into gold. That's a sin worthy of Dante's hell.
To Dante, it was messing with the natural order, a form of deception, see? The point is, he's showing how deeply dishonesty can worm its way into everything, big or small.
Sneaky, sneaky sin. And finally, the granddaddy of them all, circle 9, treachery, the ultimate betrayal.
The absolute worst. And like fraud, it's divided by WHO, you betray. Family, country, guests, and worst of all, those you owe allegiance to. And at the very center, frozen in ice, Satan himself.
Of course. Who else would it be?
And get this, eternally chewing on 3 figures. Brutus and Cassius, who betrayed Caesar.
Classic betrayal.
And of course, Judas, who betrayed Christ. The ultimate betrayal, at least for Dante.
So we've stared into the abyss, met the sinners, seen their punishments, felt Dante's own struggles along the way. But why? Why should I care about some 700-year-old poem?
Because it's not just some poem. The Inferno. It's a mirror. It reflects our own deepest fears, our desires. It makes us confront the darkest parts of humanity and then ask, what choices am I making? Am I on the path to my own personal hell, so to speak?
It's like that line, right? The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in times of great moral crisis, maintain their neutrality. Dante's calling us out. We can't just sit on the sidelines. We got to engage, fight for what's right, even if it means facing our own demons.
And remember how Dante never tells us if he ever gets out of hell? Like, what do you think? Did he? Can
Yeah.
BBE? That's the real question he leaves us with.
Whoa. Okay, so Dante's Inferno. Not just a scary story, but a guidebook for navigating this crazy thing called life. Even centuries later, it's still got us talking. Until next time, keep diving deep, friends.